All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome to the closing beat. Happy Tuesday. I said that wrong earlier in the Dow Show, but today is Tuesday. This is a stock market update for you. We go over the good, the bad, and the ugly in the stock market, brought to you by jazzwealth.com. Hope you'll check us out at Jazz Wealth. We manage retirement investments. We use our own portfolios. We build and manage them for you, and because of that, of course, there's no expense ratios, 12B1 fees, anything like that. Well, this is the stock market update. You can see on the screen there, we're going to cover a bunch of stuff. If it's your first time joining us, welcome, welcome. If for some reason I help you by the end of this, please hit the subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. We're going to try something a little bit different today. Let me see if I can get this right in the first shot. We're going to work on top headlines for the day. Yeah, look at that. Looking smooth. A couple changes still to make there. But basically, if you were paying attention to the markets today, Amazon dominated the headlines. They are the second company to break $1 trillion in market cap. It just means the company's worth that. You take the share price times the number of shares outstanding, and you get a market cap, which is the value that all investors are currently placing on the stock, and that went over $1 trillion today. Interestingly, I thought it was cool that Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, wrote on a whiteboard in his office that we are not our stock price. So he did not want people focused on the stock price if you work for the company. He wants people focused on the future and growth and everything. So that was in the news. Nike shares were lower because of Colin Kaepernick. Having a little fun with that one today. They basically put him in a 30th anniversary ad. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. You got Twitter, Facebook, and possibly Google headed to Congress this week, well, tomorrow actually, to testify in front of the House, the Senate Committee, the Senate Intelligence Committee. This is like a no-show thing. It'll be all over TV. That's all financial media will talk about. It's a no-show. It's basically so that the people on the committee can go back to their respective states and go, see what I did? I fought for you guys. Now re-vote for me in the midterm elections. That's really all that is. Jobs report on Friday. That's going to be a big one. Unemployment rate and everything coming out. And so, of course, we'll get to that as we get to it. But just a little tip on the headlines there. Now, the stock market today was down a lot more, but by the end of the day, only closed down a touch. Down 12 on the Dow, 4 on the S&P. The Nasdaq closed lower by 18. You got Canada discussions. That's going to be an issue going into the rest of the week. What are we doing with them, right? How's this going to go? That's going to, you know, there's a whole commenting period throughout this week. I just bet it's going to be in the news, something that's focused on. So be ready for that. Trade deal with Mexico taken care of. Canada wants to get in on the mix, but they got to look good. It's like China. We got this whole trade war going on with them. China's got to look good to their people. We got to look good to our people. And so they just have to figure out how to make it happen. They will. Don't worry. It'll all happen. If you've been around for a while, you know it's all good. Well, let's take a look at some of the charts today if you're interested. By the way, tonight, if you're one of our customers, the Wine and Wealth class, I hope we don't lose power. We got like a mini hurricane floating through here, tropical storm. But as long as everything's good, the class tonight is on these candlesticks and putting it all together. We've done 2 classes for you on the candlesticks now. We're going to wrap it up, show you exactly what we're looking at here on the screen if you're not too familiar with that. So join us tonight for that. Here is the S&P on the screen. You can see a slow and steady uptrend. You'll notice that if I go back to this screen for just a second, on the bottom here, this chart over here shows that the overall volume is creeping up a little bit. Not only that, you see the volatility. See how throughout the day we wiggled back and forth a little bit more. So keep that in mind. That's going to pick up. On this chart here, you can see the volume is just picking up a little bit. This would be a better representation of it because you could go back a few days and see that slow increase in volume. That may likely continue, but the S&P is trading very, very near all-time highs, so not a big deal. The Nasdaq, same thing, trading near all-time highs. You wouldn't mind if it pulled back a little bit, so not a problem there. And then if we go over to the Dow, it's just a nice picture of what's happening in the Dow, just a slow little uptrend there. So stock market-wise, if we know that in September volatility picks up, right? We see a 20 to 30% increase in volatility. Let's go see. We're at the start of September here, and you look at volatility, however you want to look at it. We can look at the straight volatility if you like. When you look at it, already starting to creep up a little bit. Now, this is day one, right? So this is not a big deal. But day one, you've got just about 2% creeping up on volatility there, or a little over 2% for volatility. Expect that to continue. Remember, September is historically a rough month for the markets, especially in the last 2 weeks. We've gone over the stats over the last few days, so no need to stick with that. If we go through different sectors here, you got the semiconductors higher today. Gee, I wonder why. Semiconductors were higher because AMD pushed higher by another 11%. Look, the financial media, Twitter, stock twits, if you follow that. Is it stock tweets or stock twits? They're getting really good at getting you to focus in one area and devote your money to that one area. I'm very worried that a lot of people are going real heavy on stocks like AMD. They went heavy on stocks like, the FANG stocks and then cried about it in February. So be careful. If you like this stock and you're playing along, a little bit, right? Don't bet the farm on this one. Don't bet the farm on Bitcoin. Don't bet the farm on Kronos, those pot stocks. Just a little bit. Gotcha? Okay, so that was the reason that semiconductors were higher today. Nice move, not too bad there. And the banking stocks tried to rally a little bit. They just continue to kind of slop around. If we look at Nike, we said those shares were lower today on the Colin Kaepernick ad. It's not going to be a big deal. It's a bunch of free publicity, whether you agree with him, disagree with him, love the NFL, hate the NFL for their response, whatever it is. Do you notice we're talking about this just 2 days before opening day kickoff or opening night kickoff, right? Think about it a little bit. They're just trying to get you fired up so you pay attention. That's all it is. Nike puts a lot of money into the NFL. They want the NFL to get attention. Do you think they chose Colin Kaepernick because they think he's a good guy and, oh, this will blow over and he'll be fine? No, they did it because they want eyeballs on Thursday night's game. So between Nike and the NFL and what's going on with all of that, it's all free publicity and it's working. I'm perfectly honest with you, it's working. They did a good job with it, so you can't discount that. They're doing a good job. Amazon. You got Amazon hitting $1 trillion worth of market cap, actually a touch more, but who's counting at this point? So Amazon higher by 1.33% today. If you look at the other FANG names, Netflix was down on the day. Facebook, I believe, lost 3. Nope, it lost 2 on the day. And Apple pulled back. No, Apple closed just a touch positive, so not too big of a deal there. You got Alphabet down about 1.6% today. Their CEO hasn't committed to going to this Senate committee or to this hearing tomorrow with Facebook and Twitter. And the Intelligence Committee has said, we won't take anybody else. We want your CEO. If he can't make it, we don't want you at all. And so I don't think he's going to go. The deals that this CEO gets from the government, he probably should go. If you've seen sort of the subsidies and things that we pay for, unbelievable. Okay, you got Goldman Sachs in the news today, not really because of the stock price, but because of Tesla. So Goldman Sachs, remember, they removed themselves from giving ratings, buy ratings, sell ratings, analyst coverage. They removed that because they were working with Tesla and giving them advice on potentially going private. So it's a conflict of interest if you're advising a company to go private and you're telling the public what to do with the stock. Conflict of interest. So Goldman Sachs said, you know what, we're going to remove ourselves from that. Well, since Tesla's not going private anymore, Goldman Sachs came back to the mix today and they said, you know what, since we're not doing that anymore, we're going to put a sell rating on Tesla. Was it a sell rating? Yeah, they put a sell rating on it. And get this, what's their target price? A lot of times an analyst will say, we suggest it's a buy or it's a sell, and they'll give a target price. Target price for Tesla, 210. So they believe it's going to fall off the edge of the chart here and go down to 210. That's Goldman Sachs' prediction based on what they know. I would think that they know a little something more than the rest, just to be perfectly honest with you. What did I do? I messed everything up. Sorry about that. So Tesla down on the day by just over 4%. That's going to be a rocky ride there if you're paying attention there. So that's that one. Okay, you got a couple other stocks that were down pretty heavy on the day in the hardware space. Seagate Technology down 7% and Western Digital down 4%, breaking the new lows. You had Evercore. They downgraded both companies. They said Seagate were downgrading to inline, into underperform. Westgate down to inline, basically just saying they expect a little less out of the company. They said pricing pressures on memory is the driving factor. Really, what you need to know about that, WDC has been in a slow downtrend. Remember, you never try to buy a slow downtrend. I like buying discounts, but you don't buy it when it's moving slowly like this. Maybe this is the start of a more aggressive downtrend. And then Seagate Technologies, just a little extended here in the short term with that sell-off. So not too much there. Let's move on to some other stuff real quick. You got Roku higher on the day by 6%. Guggenheim, that's another analyst firm, or at least they have analysts there. They said Roku's going to be a key player in the disruption of the television business. Whatever that means, 6% added to the stock price. And then if we go over to retail stocks real quick, because a lot of retail stocks were in the news today doing really well. Okay, so to start, we got Nordstrom, 3.5% higher. Goldman Sachs, all the work they were doing today, Goldman Sachs said they were upgrade Nordstrom. They said they're doing a good job offering their full price luxury line and also offering the slightly discounted service as well. So that stock was higher by 3.5%, but Goldman Sachs didn't stop there. They said, oh, and you know TJ Maxx? We're going to add them to our mix too. We think TJ Maxx is doing a good job, and they think Kohl's is doing a good job. So both of those enjoyed nice days today. Ulta Salons was not in the mix, but that's another retailer that's continuing higher. We talked about that on Friday. You got Advanced Auto Parts in the top of the S&P performers today, towards the top. You've got O'Reilly Auto Parts, Home Depot, big supporter in the Dow today. Big move in Home Depot, one of our dividend stocks there. Looking really good. AutoZone near the top of the list. Ross Stores near the top of the list. You get my drift? Dollar General breaking out to new highs, also near the top of the list. So you get the feeling, you know, the S&P today was a lot to do with retail stocks. And then Verizon, they were downgraded today, lost 2%. And I thought this was interesting. The company that the analyst that covered them has no problem with Verizon. He just said, we're going to downgrade it because it seems like the current pricing of the stock is a little expensive relative to its prospects. They think the prospects are great. They actually said they like the company's prospects, but they feel the current valuation, it limits how high the stock can go. They're basically just saying a little overpriced here in the short term. So that's basically all I have for you. For the update today, I feel like I talked a lot. Bruce from New York, hello. California, that's incredible. Oh, you're welcome, thanks for watching. JD CEO, yeah, he's in the ticker down below. He was at least accused of what he did. No charges or nothing. You know, somebody got paid to essentially be quiet up there in Minnesota. I'm sad I wasn't in Minnesota because I'd have taken a paycheck to keep my mouth shut. David Cook's got a 50% gain on AMD. You booked it. That's the important part. You booked it. Hey, Brendan. Yes, sir. We see you in there. You canceled your Model 3 reservation yesterday after, oh man. I've been hearing a lot of that lately. I'll move on from that, but that's what I hear a lot about. If Nike dropped their share price, then how is Under Armour doing? Yeah, we didn't look at Under Armour today. There's a lot of debate. Actually, Under Armour was up by about 2%. A lot of debate today on whether people would move their business. You know, would you buy your products now from Under Armour versus Nike? I'm going to keep the same comments. This is a total nothing news event in the grand scheme of things. It is designed to get Twitter typing hashtag not me Nike or whatever it is. It's totally to get people to talk about Nike, the NFL, and just generally get the name out there more and more. It's a game. It's a well-played game. Let's put it that way. I'm not a penny stock guy, but Mankind had a good day today. I'm not allowed to comment on Mankind. I am friends with them. That's all I can say. So I can't run into the inside knowledge issue. But I saw it. Yeah, had a good day today. All right, that's it. That's all I have for you on the day today. We will see you tonight. If you're one of our customers, Wine and Wealth, we're putting a cap on the candlesticks class. So if you happen to, if we're managing your retirement accounts, but you like to trade in the short term, we're going to put a sort of a final part 3 on our candlesticks class to help you learn a little bit more with that. It seems to be pretty popular, so we may pick up some more of that in the future. But we'll see you tonight if you're one of our customers. If not, we'll be back tomorrow for the Doe Show live at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. See you then.
Watch one of our other great videos? Have you had a chance to see our new Fin Tips videos? They focus on one topic at a time, covering investing, personal finance, and anything that can quickly help you with your dough. Best of all, we'll keep it real short, because we know time is money.